Welcome back to the Hawkeye Garage. I am Joe, GX470, back in the garage again, doing something that I've been putting off for a while. The last time that I worked on the front suspension, I did a video on this too, where I changed the shock or the strut and spring settings. If you aren't familiar with the setup on my GX, I've Bilstein 5100s on the front, the adjustable pedestal struts, and I am running the OEM Lexus springs. For a couple years I had been running those springs on the third perch on the front end, and I decided to change that. I was getting just some weird driving, steering, handling stuff. So I went ahead and dropped those springs down to the first perch, added some spacers. Anyway, when I was doing that, I noticed that the lower strut bushings were getting bad, and I'll show you here in a second. So I set about trying to find some replacements. I have found some replacements and we are installing them, so stay tuned. Some quick information before we start working and looking at stuff. I Googled, of course. Bilstein does not make replacements for these shock bushings. I keep saying shock, I'm sorry. Old habits die hard. This is not an uncommon failure based on what I've seen on the internet. I did find a replacement, so that's cool. Time will only tell how good they are, obviously. Been fairly easy to replace. I already did one side because I wanted to make sure that these bushings actually fit and were going to work before I made the video. But yes, I have new bushings. I've got one sitting right here. Steel sleeved rubber bushing. They're from Summit Racing. I did try to find some other ones. I reach out to White Line bushing. I have White Line bushings, poly bushings on my steering rack. They make tons of stuff, especially pretty sure they're based out of Australia. So they do a lot of Toyota stuff, but they don't make bushings for aftermarket shocks, which makes sense, I suppose. So let's look at the old bushing here, show you what the problem was, and we'll talk about replacing it. So we've got the old bushing in the vise here, as you can see, and you can kind of tell, at least from the camera, that it's failed pretty well, especially along the one side closest to the bottom of the screen, where the rubber's pretty well cracked all the way around. It was way more prevalent to see, obviously, when the vehicle's weight was still on it. The bolt that held the strut into place was like pressed all the way up to that outer steel sleeve, and yeah, it's pretty well shot. I don't know if the other one is quite this bad. One of them has a little bit more miles on than the other one, because one of these struts actually came off my wrecked 4Runner, and then I had to buy a new one. But still, I think maybe one of them's got 30-ish thousand miles and one of them's got 40-ish thousand miles on it. I'm not sure what the lifespan of these 5100s is, but one of the big things that I think this is affecting is I'm getting some weird tread wear on my BFGs. I'll show you here in a second on that, and I'm hoping this is going to make everything ride a little bit better and maybe help that tread wear out. So here's one of the tires. This is one of the front tires. I've been rotating them every, I don't know, 10,000 miles, I suppose, every couple oil changes. And of course, it's hard to tell in the video, but on the inner side, the tread is definitely worn. I suppose cupped technically, but uneven tread wear for sure. Hopefully this will settle that suspension down a little bit. It didn't feel like it was bouncing all over the place, being crazy, but definitely getting some tread wear, and hopefully if I keep rotating these tires corner to corner, I can kind of smooth these inner tread lugs out to be even with the rest of the tire. Still got tons of tread left,
on the tire, but we're just trying to make them last and smooth out. They still ride good, still steer good, no crazy vibrations. So still happy with these tires overall. And here we've got my strut in the vise. As you can see, I'm using a couple giant sockets, some impact sockets, to push that bushing through. One that was just the right size for pushing, and of course this will vary depending on the brand of sockets and stuff that you have, of course. And then I have a really big socket down below so that that bushing can just pop down out of the strut into the socket. My socket did get a little bit stuck in this strut. I don't know, probably see it here in a second, but I just popped it out with a hammer, and no worse for wear. Bushing is out, time to get the new one put in. And of course, basically the same thing in reverse to press the bushing in. I did sand the inside of that strut hole for the bushing out a little bit, try to smooth it out, put some grease on the bushing. We'll start pressing it in without that bottom socket to start with, just it's going to start way easier. But I am going to have to put that socket down below because the inner steel sleeve sticks out further than the outer steel sleeve, and it's going to hit it's going to bottom out there, so I need to lift it up and get that socket put underneath so that I can finish pushing that bushing down another, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so. And that pretty much has it right there, pressed in the right amount. All right, got it put back together. Obviously the car is not here at the moment. It's a few days after I've finished, and Mrs. HSW has the car out right now. But I can say that that made a big difference. Really, I could feel the difference having the shocks with the new bushings, the struts again, with the new bushings. Steers really good, alignment is really good, wheel is still straight. I'm sure that it's not 100%. I wasn't really happy with that last alignment that I got because it was only like 99% perfect anyway. So I think we're just gonna let it ride. For now, we'll let those bushings kind of break in a little bit. I'll get some more tread wear on those tires, and then I'll take it in 5-10,000 miles. Get another alignment, tire rotation, tire balance, and we should be good to go. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, turn those notifications on, give the video a thumbs up. You know the drill. Follow the links in the description down below, or to my Instagram and my Facebook. I do a lot of stuff like this on the channel. I've got more 3rd Gen 4Runner content coming, mountain bike content coming, and of course, if you have any comments, questions, down below, or feel free to email me anytime, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com. So until the next video drops, thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.